Hey folks, Ish Monroe here. Here's a very detailed look at my flipping, pitching, and punching setup. First, I like to get started with the Daiwa Tatula Elite Series 8-foot Signature Series Ish Monroe punching and flipping stick. The great thing about this rod is that I can flip with it, I can punch with it, and I can pitch with it. The AGS guides that are designed exclusively for Daiwa is a guide system that is ultra light. It's one of the lightest on the market. It's also very sensitive. Anytime you're actually flipping and pitching and punching, especially when you're in heavy cover, sometimes that bait goes through and you can't detect that bite. Well, this AGS guide is going to allow you to do that. The 8-foot system is going to have a lot of backbone pretty much from this section on, but just enough tip for you to be able to swing that bait and get a low trajectory to the water to sliding that bait in very quietly. Also, having that little bit of tip to it is going to give you a better hookup ratio. You don't want an ultra stiff rod when you're flipping, pitching, or punching. The reason is because the master himself said so, Denny Brower. He told me this a long time ago, is actually you want some softer tip for a better hookup ratio. And once again, a better hookup ratio means increased percentage of fish landing in the boat. Another great thing about this 8-footer is it's super duper light. But when I team it up with the Tatula Elite Series 7-1 Tatula flipping and pitching reel, you've got the ultimate setup. Well, this flipping and pitching reel has a 100mm handle. The 100mm handle is your torque. It's your big gear for winding and cranking that big fish out of that heavy cover. Teamed up with a 13 pounds of a Zion Star drag designed for Daiwa that I can completely lock this drag down. When I'm flipping with 65-pound braid like I are here, actually this is 70-pound Samurai braid. Sometimes I use 65-pound Daiwa J braid, but most of the time I use 70-pound Samurai braid for when I'm flipping and pitching and punching. Then there'll be times where I use maybe 25-pound, the new Daiwa fluorocarbon that's coming out. That's also going to be could be used on this rod as well. So we've got 13 pounds of drag, we've got a 100mm handle, we've got a zero-touch mag force system for a low trajectory underneath the water. Meaning zero touches, you don't even want to mess with this adjustment here, you only want to mess with the mag force on this side here, depending on the size weight or the lure that you're using. Another great thing about this reel is it has the T-wing system, so it allows that line to free flow through there so that you don't get any backlashes and it comes off the reel super smooth. And then this reel is also teamed up with a very shallow spool. When you're flipping, pitching, and punching, you don't have to worry about having a real deep spool, so you actually get to save line. So when you have this rod, this reel, this line, you're pretty much good to go, but you need one more thing. You need the bait. Well, my bait of choice most of the time for when I'm flipping, pitching, and punching is the Missile Baits D-Bomb. And if I'm punching, like I've got here, I've got a 1 1/4 ounce weight. You can go to a 1 ounce River to Sea trash bomb weight up to 1 3/4 ounces. But sometimes when I'm just flipping and pitching, I will actually start out with a 3/16 and work my way up to a 3/8 depending on what the fish want. Team that up with the new Jack flipping hook, you're going to be good to go. I mean, you can also get in there missile jig or a Tommy Biffle junkyard jig, and you're going to be able to catch a lot of fish. But the D-Bomb is my bait of choice when I'm flipping and pitching and punching when I show up to most of the lakes anywhere in the country. So folks, if you go out, you get this Daiwa set up with the Signature Series Ish Monroe Tatula Elite Series, you're going to have the right flipping and pitching setup. Well, that's a detailed look at my flipping and pitching setup.